Hello, everyone. My name is Tyler Stiegel, and I did my muted group presentation over veterans. So, how veterans relate to the muted group theory, and just how veterans are muted overall. Many Americans who served in the Iraq and Afghanistan wars need mental health care, but they aren't always getting enough from the Department of Veteran Affairs and Health Administration. Research indicates that those who have served in the late Vietnam and post-Vietnam eras are at the greatest risk of becoming homeless but that that veterans from the more recent wars and conflicts are also affected. Veterans returning from deployments in Afghanistan and Iraq often face invisible wounds of war, including traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder, both of which correlate with homelessness. This just kind of goes into how veterans are muted, the problems of post traumatic stress disorder and homelessness of veterans is a very big problem today that seems to be very hard to figure out when it comes to helping these vets. Um, it seems as if this issue's always been a thing, but like I said, it's very hard to figure it out when helping these um, veterans. They just kind of can't get their voice, or they kind of can't get their voices heard um, through people to help this issue, which which kind of shows that this issue is related to the muted group theory. And then on the right here, I have some statistics and facts about homeless veterans. As you can see, it shows um, the difference in homeless veterans and all veterans, and what ages that veterans are ended up homeless by their ages. It says 13% of homeless adults are veterans, 92% of homeless veterans are men. It's just a bunch of different facts and statistics about homeless vets, and also just kind of dials into um, the muted group theory. Um, so next on the slide, I have the efforts that vets have made to be heard. So there are many programs and things out there that are trying to help the vets, programs and organizations that are trying to help when it comes to helping the vets' voices be heard through these problems of post traumatic stress disorder and homelessness. And one of those organizations that have been an effort to help their voices be heard is the VFW Action Corps, which is a national grassroots advocacy network comprised of more than 300,000 VFW members and patriotic supporters of veterans. This group stays up to date on the issues facing our veterans, our military, and their families, standing ready to email, write, call, and visit our nation's lawmakers to make their voices heard. Like I said, this is just one of those programs that's kind of helping the veterans' voices be heard when it comes to the issues of post traumatic stress disorder and veterans being homeless and not having enough, government funding um, to help the veterans' case when they return home from war and things like that. So those are just some of the efforts this is one of the biggest efforts and organizations that put effort into helping the veterans' voices be heard. And then I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but these are some of the effective approaches of the Action Corps. These are just some of the successes that the Action Corps have had when contributing to getting the voices heard of veterans. So, just a couple of them here. the Action Corps accomplished the long-time goal to eliminate the Windows tax, a dollar-for-dollar offset that prevented surviving military spouses from receiving both survivor benefit plans, payments from the Department of Defense, and dependency and indemnity compensation payments from the Department of Veteran Affairs. Now, 65,000 survivors will be able to receive the benefits their spouses earned and paid for without the unjust offset. So yeah, like I said, these are just some of the successes that the Action Corps have had when they're fighting for the voices of veterans to be heard. There's many more successes that the Action Corps have had when talking about these issues. These are just a few of them that I found when I was doing some research about the Action Corps to help veteran affairs. So, and then the group that's kind of the dominant group that's keeping the vets muted really is the government. I would say that the government kind of lacks an effort to help out with the funding for the veterans who come home after war. Government PTSD awareness are often underfunded, and problems with the veteran programs just keep happening. For example, here's two examples that I found when talking about the problems and funding of the vets who are returning home, about their health care and all their things like that. It's Veterans Health Administration has 30,000 vacant clinical positions. Eligibility claims processors are in such short supply. There remains a waiting list 75,000 veterans long. Appeals of eligibility denials have a backlog of more than 300,000 and take an average of 2.5 years to resolve. The VA even lacks undersecretaries to supervise those areas. And then just another problem is that the Department of Veteran Affairs will no longer cover the cost of service dogs assigned to people with the mental disabilities such as post-traumatic stress disorder. This goes into the problem of not having enough funding for the troops when coming out of the service. And just all around kind of lack of help for the veterans. So those in power that are wrong. Obviously, the government. I think it's wrong to not help out these this muted group of veterans. These are just some of the statistics on the different wars of veterans who come out with PTSD. As you guys can see, about 11 to 20 out of every 100 veterans who served in IOF or OEF have PTSD in a given year. The Gulf War, about 12 out of every 100 Gulf War veterans have PTSD in a given year. And then the Vietnam War, about 15 out of every 100 Vietnam veterans were currently diagnosed with PTSD at the time of the most recent study in the late 80s. And then as you guys can read that. As you can see, the PTSD in veterans is a very serious issue. Veterans return home with no health care benefits, which results to no health care benefits to help out with these health care issues. And then some even come home without any benefits, which result in them becoming homeless. And I think that this is wrong. And then here are my 3 solutions to help the veterans be heard. Use social media to help veterans' voices be heard. If we come out about the issue of the muted veterans on social media, that could be the start of getting the help that is needed and bringing attention to all of these issues, such as the health care and the problems with funding for the troops. And then when talking about the funding for the troops, I think that obviously donate to veteran foundations. A couple veteran foundations that you could donate to Wounded Warrior Project, Paralyzed Vets of America, and Veterans of Foreign Wars. Those are 3 of the foundations that I found that are common for people to donate to help out the vets. And then the last one I put is help veterans share their stories. If you know a vet and you're related to a vet, obviously they probably have some stories from their personal experiences through the war. So I think helping their voices or helping share those stories can really help their voices be heard overall. So, and then those are my references. That's what I got for you guys. Thank you.